Hey folks, welcome back to Green Iron TV. So we're now on part 2 of building the surveillance truck, the M37 with AN MLQ-24 radar intercept box on the back. And in the first episode we went through, we got the Rodin 1/35 scale M37 Dodge truck built and in primer and ready. And now we're going to move on, and we're going to move into this excellent command box from Hobby Link. And so this is a resin printed kit, and of course this is a AN MSQ-85 audio visual unit, which is not quite the same as the -24 that I need, but it is very, very close. And we'll be able to use this and convert this into what we need. And it is going to take a lot of scratch building, and that's what we're going to do on this episode. So we are going to get to building on the comm box that goes in the back of the Dodge, and build all the radio antennas and towers, and get that stuff built. So that's what's coming up on this episode of Green Iron TV. Like always, I want to thank you guys for following along, and especially when we do these little diversions to work inside on the small scale stuff, and jump away from the one-on-one scale real trucks down in the big garage. But you know, it is what happens here in the winter, and I'm glad you were able to stay along. So like always, give us a like, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot, guys, and enjoy. Okay, and this is a full resin kit, 3D printed resin, and beautifully built, super thin, just exquisite details. You know, you can see how thin it is. You know, it's not the old school big chunky resin stuff. That's the joy of the 3D printing. It is nice. Hobby Link gives you some extras. So there are some duplicates of everything. So if you are building the actual mobile audio visual unit, you do have all those pieces, and you do have extras. We are going to be using a small handful of the pieces out of here, some of the tie down pieces and stuff, but we are going to predominantly be custom building all the radio towers and stuff that go along with the -24 that I intend to build to match the one that my father used. So you know, this is a great little kit. There are a couple little things. So so this power outlet here, I'm going to have to relocate it up top here. Some of these brackets, those are all going to have to be shaved, some stuff like that. So like I said, there is going to be some stuff that needs to be done with this shelter unit to make it look correct, but it shouldn't be too terribly bad. So that's what we're going to get started with, and we're going to try and build this thing out and make it look as correct as possible. All right, we'll start with shaving off these brackets, and then we're going to look at seeing if we can get this power port cut out so that we can then cut and move it up to there. Well, a little chunk came out. We can fix that. So. Okay, we've gotten that socket cut out, and we've gone ahead and cut our hole to relocate, and this will now fit in up there, and so we'll be able to glue that in up there and have our power outlet box up there where it belongs. So let's glue this in, huh? And now we can work on covering up that. So we do know there is a fold down door on part of the section, and then there's a air conditioner that sticks out of another section there. So we'll replicate those next. All right, so we got our pieces cut and made here to block off, and we're gonna take a piece of mesh and put it on the inside here, kind of represents the back mesh on like an air conditioning unit. So basically that's just going to help give it the back of that air conditioning unit look. And then, you know, we will have these positioned. And should look pretty good. All right, that should look pretty good. Now we'll move on to building the two big radio towers. Okay, so we've got that relocated to the top. We've got the air conditioner built and that control panel covering over the hole. We've got a couple supports there, and then we've been working on building the lower half of the towers. And so these end up mounting on each side like so, and that'll be the first part of the towers. So these are just scratch built out of some girder and some other flat stock and a few pieces to try and mimic the pivot point that the towers have on the rail truck. So just another little piece, keep on working at it. Okay, with our two tower sections built, we can go ahead and look at getting these glued on. All right, we're going to have this as the antenna tower off the back. And we'll have to build that antenna. And we're going to have to build the two radar dishes for the top. But that is coming along quite nicely. And we just got these two little upright supports. So we'll attach those in like that. So we're going to go to off those supports made on the top up to this upper corner. Voila, we got those two supports on, inching closer and closer. Get a little bit of a visual. Kind of gives you a little bit of a visual of how we're gonna end up looking here on the truck. Yeah, we might as well let's attach that antenna bracket to the back too. All right, we are slowly getting there. Okay, as we pick away here on the box, we have one of the radar stanchions built, and I will go now and we will show you how I built that when we build the other one, using some unconventional pieces to make up the shapes that is the radar dome on top. And of course I have built the antenna that's on the back corner of the vehicle, and right now I just have it glued in long, and we will now come back in. We'll straight edge it, and and cut it down to an angle and so forth like that, so that we get that proper look. So we'll show you now how I built some of this rest of the pieces. So like this will be one of the other bases, the base for the other radar dome. And as you can see, we do have the M37 actually painted in OD green, looking pretty good. So we'll just keep marching away at all the bits and pieces. Okay, now that we have our first radar tower built, we will show you guys how we made that. So we started off making the base here out of some square stock and some other channels to basically replicate that. And the big thing is going to be the radar dome and how to make that. And sometimes you just have to think outside the box and find something that's of the same shape. And I bought a cheap bottle of nasal spray because that cap's got that shape, and so we will use this, and we will cut the top off to make the top of the dome. And then to make the bottom side, we are going to use the tip off of there. And then to make our spacers, we're just going to use some basic washers, stack some washers, and we're going to build in some tubing on the inside to give it some strength. And that's how we're going to build this radar dish. Okay, with our details added around the box, our tie downs, we have our 2 radar masts and our antenna all built, and so we'll go ahead and get these glued up and set, and then we can get this piece in some primer as well. So we'll start by gluing these radar masts in. Now, one of the things we're not going to do is we're not going to glue the domes on the top. We're going to leave those because in the real life they were a white plastic or fiberglass, so we don't want to paint those, so we'll just leave those off and we can get the rest of this painted. Let's get this antenna mounted. We've pre-drilled some holes because we have some holes through here, so we are going to be running some cabling. We're just going to be basically replicating that with thread to replicate the cables. I have used some metal wire here to replicate some of the cabling at the top, but I think thread will lay better and look more like cable laying there, so we'll do that. So we'll let that set up, and that will get this into primer, and from there we can get painting on it, and we'll be getting close to getting it all buttoned up and installed. Well, okay folks, that'll wrap up this episode. This is the part 2 of the M37 with the AN MLQ-24 radar intercept comm in the back. We've got that comm box all finished up, all the scratch built for all the radar towers, the radar antenna to the back. I even just finished building a set of steps. The basic truck is built. We need to do detailing on the truck. I have ordered a custom set of decals that will have the actual unit and the registration numbers for this actual truck, the truck in the pictures. So all in all, we're looking pretty good here as we move along. We are going to go into part 3. Part 3, we're going to finish up some paint. So after this this primer dries, we'll go ahead, we'll get the comm box and some paint, and then we got to work on the figure and then the finished details. So that'll all be coming up in part 3. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out and following along here as we do this multi-part series on building this fine scale model. This is 1/35th scale. This is pretty small, but this is pretty common for military scale models. So like always, I want to thank you guys for watching and following along. If you can, please, hit the like button, leave us a comment, hit the subscribe, and if you have a moment, check out the link in the description down below for the Green Iron TV merchandise store. So we have all kinds of cool t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, all kinds of neat pieces in there. So please take a moment, check that out. We appreciate every little bit of that, and just want to wish you guys have a great day, and we'll see you soon when we get back to part 3. Thanks.